effort, but this week he's got back behind the wheel, checking whether his battered body will be up to Sunday's opening round of the Touring Car Championship at Sandown.
Morning, Liz. How are you?
Very well, Mark. I guess we start with you. In fact, you are not going to compete on Sunday.
No, we're still a bit sore at this point, so if we're not 100%, you know, it's probably not very wise. So even though you don't really want to miss out on the first round of the championship, that's sort of how it is, and we'll come back for the second.
So you'll only be out for that one round?
Well, I hope so. At this point, you know, I would have liked to have made it for this weekend, but as it stands, we're, you know, very sore in the rib area and things, and I did a few laps at Calder the other day, and, you know, really, I probably went backwards a week.
It really is an awful start for the series, though, for you, isn't it? I mean, you are the current title holder. To be put behind like that's not so good.
Well, it's not, obviously. You know, the championship's very close and there's a lot of very, very good drivers, but the fact is, a bit like a footballer, if you come back from injury too early, then probably you'll battle for the rest of the season, so it's probably wise to miss the first one.
Mark, that was some accident that we're looking at on the screen at the moment. Can you recall it?
Well, I'm a little bit hazy on the details, but I know it wasn't the best thing in the world, and the following week I spent in Westmead, and that was probably in terms of the detail of the accident, I don't really remember it too well.
Something like that?
Well, you probably don't. That's what you do for a living, so, you know, it's not too bad in that respect. I don't think that's a big problem. It's just being fit enough to be able to actually get in and do a good job. If you're not 100%, you're not going to be able to compete against the other drivers, and, you know, we have some of the world's best touring car drivers in Australia, so to go there at less than 100%, you're just kidding yourself. Yeah.
Glenn Seton, you were, I think, one of the first on the scene, were you not, after that accident? Did you know what you were going to find?
Well, not really. When you first get down there, you're... I suppose you expect it's just another crash, really, that we all have. But it was quite a shock to me, because Mark and I have grown up together over the years, and I'm just thankful that he's come out with only the injuries he's got.
Yes, you're great friends and you're also great rivals. You are, after all, the runner-up. You're right behind Mark. I mean, it's disappointing he's not racing this weekend?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, because naturally us as professionals like to compete against the best, and with Mark not there, it's going to be a little bit of a hole in the championship, I think, but he'll be back at the Symmons Plains rounds, and I think batting on pretty hard.
Yeah, do you find it easy or hard to race against such a good mate?
No, I really, once we get out on the track, we are competitors against each other. Naturally, off the track, we're very good friends, but out there, we're out there to compete and compete fairly, and that's what we do.
Mark, I have to ask you this. Your wife, Belinda, was pregnant, or is still pregnant, I think, and obviously quite shaken by that crash. What was the impact on people, somebody like herself, so close to you when she saw that? I see.
They were at the track. It would have happened because, you know, obviously it would have been pretty disastrous to see that live.
No pressure to sort of rethink your career?
Well, she hasn't said anything yet, but I've probably had my earplugs in too.
Well, it sounds like a great competition coming up. Obviously, Mark, you're quite confident still of retaining that title.
Well, you know, you'd like to think so, Liz, but it will be very, very hard to win when you miss a round. But, you know, at the moment, the touring car racing is so competitive that there's probably 10 guys that could win each round. And when it's like that, when there's Peter Brock and Dick Johnson and John Bowe and Glenn and Larry and, you know, Jim Richards, there's so many people there that, you know, are great drivers, and the teams are very, very professional and they do a great job. So you're going to struggle. It's a tough act.
Yeah, well, Glenn, I guess you're hoping to notch up at least one win ahead of Mark this weekend.
Well, I suppose you're right there, because it's very important to get away to a good start at the championship. Mark proved that last year. He beat us all in the first 3 rounds, and really he won the championship and done a great job. So naturally we've got to try and get a break early, and that's the plan.
Well, I wish you both the very best of luck. I do hope that, Mark, it won't be long before you're out on the track, and Glenn, I hope you do notch up that win. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Les.
Thanks, Liz.
Well, Lizzie,